Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss a video from testbook.com.
Hello all, Testbook has come up with NCERT UPSC IAS Foundation live coaching, in which you will be getting more than 140 live classes, more than 10 tests, more than 700 practice questions through various quizzes, and very important notes which will be provided through more than 300 PDFs. So this is going to be a very important course for your UPSC and state PSC examinations, whether you are preparing for 2021 UPSC CSE or maybe for 2022 also. So do join the course and avail the best of NCERT preparation in order to clear your basics under the guidance of best of the faculties with us. A very good afternoon to all of you. This is Ajay Verma before you. And I welcome you all in this live session. So guys, it is a very important session. It is going to be a very important session today. Today I'll be sharing with you a bit of strategy about how to prepare NCERT books which are considered as the basic fundamental of your preparation for UPSC CSE and other state PSC examinations. So guys, I hope all of you are already geared up for this session. Also, I am considerate that if you are seeing this session, it means that you're already serious for your preparation, and I will ensure that it is going to be very good information for all of you related to the NCERTs, how to prepare the NCERTs. Everyone is already aware that NCERTs are very important, but only a few people have the clear-cut idea how to prepare the NCERTs, how to read the NCERTs, when to make the notes out of it, and what is the best possible way in which NCERT should be utilized in order to clear the basic fundamentals for which you are going to dedicate your time in order to prepare NCERTs before starting the preparation from standard books for UPSC and state PSCs. So guys, I welcome you all. I hope I am audible to all of you. Who is present here? Please reply on the chat. Am I audible, guys? All right. So before beginning with the session, a very important information I want to share with all of you guys. You can avail 20%. You can avail 20% discount in the total fees. 20% discount in the total fees on this UPSC NCERT course by using my coupon code, which is AJAYV, AJAYV. You can use this coupon code, guys, and you can avail 20% discount on the total course. So you are taking the admission on NCERT Live Foundation batch or even in any course by Testbook, you can use coupon code AJAYV and you can avail 20% instant discount on the total course fees. So let's start with the session, guys. So most of the people who will be watching this video, I consider that you guys are already sincere for your preparation for UPSC and state PSCs, right? That is why you already have the basic knowledge that the first point of discussion today is going to be why NCERTs are important, and many of the people also have questions. I don't have sufficient time. Maybe I can compensate the preparation of NCERTs with the standard books. Why should I not directly start with the standard books? Why to waste a lot of time on NCERTs? So many of the people will be having that thinking also, that your time is getting wasted on NCERT. But guys, believe me, it is not like that, and NCERTs are very important, very helpful. So here I want to tell you some points. The first point is that it is a very good first step. All right, it is a very good first step. So many of the times people have seen the syllabus. People have seen the syllabus of the examination, UPSC CSE, or maybe your state PSC also. Many of the time people refer the syllabus, people refer the previous year papers, and considering the vastness of syllabus and previous year paper only, many of the people think to give up, that UPSC and state PSC are something very tough. Maybe we should be going for preparation of a lower level examination, but not this big of examination having this much of syllabus and so vast level of questions being asked in the examinations. So guys, in order, first of all, in order to clear the fear, in order to get the clarity of the preparation, also clarity about the syllabus, that what all you are going to discuss, the first step always I would suggest be NCERTs. NCERTs are always a good first step. Why? Because they have a simple language, guys. They have a simple language. The books have a very simple language. For most of the questions, for most of the subjects like polity or history or geography, you will be starting the books from 6th class, right? You will be starting the books from 6th class and you will be completing the books till 12th class. So I know that we all have matured up, we all are mature guys, and once again people can think that why I am being required to revisit what I have studied in the 6th class. But believe me, our Indian education system, especially the school education, we have never taken it that serious. Otherwise, seriously, it would not have been required to cover. But I also know that if I will be asking some basic questions which are there in the 6th class book also, then also people will not be able to answer that. All right. So these books have a very simple language. They are perfectly made for the students who are studying in the school. जो बच्चे स्कूल में पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं उनके अकॉर्डिंग ही बहुत ही सरल भाषा में, बहुत ही आसान सी भाषा में, सिंपल लैंग्वेज में आपको सब कुछ समझाया गया है बच्चों. आपको स्टोरी टेलिंग भी दी जाती है, राइट. फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर आप 6th क्लास की एनसीईआरटी पढ़ रहे हैं पॉलिटी के लिए, और इसमें अगर आप रूरल एरिया में एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के लिए एक चैप्टर अगर आप पढ़ेंगे, विच इज चैप्टर नंबर 6, राइट, चैप्टर नंबर 6 ऑफ 6th क्लास पॉलिटी, तो आपको एक बहुत ही अच्छे से स्टोरी मिलेगी कि मोहन नाम का एक बंदा है जिसकी रघु नाम के एक बंदे के साथ कुछ फाइट हो गई है. मोहन हैड सम क्वेरल विद रघु. व्हाई? बिकॉज रघु हैज कैप्चर्ड सम लैंड ऑफ मोहन illegally, right? Now, who will be solving this problem? Through this story, the book have tried to tell us the story about how the problems will be managed by which section of the administration. All right. So बहुत ही simple language, बहुत ही आसान भाषा में आपको एक बच्चा मानकर इनको लिखा गया है, जो कि काफी हेल्पफुल होता है आपके लिए शुरुआत से ही एक कॉन्फिडेंस डेवलप करने के लिए. You will feel like everything is going in surroundings, right? कुछ ऐसा नहीं है जो आपने सुना नहीं होगा, सब कुछ ऐसा होगा जो आपको लगेगा ठीक है ये हमारे साथ भी हो सकता है, या मे बी इट कैन हैपन विद आवर नेबर ऑल्सो. सो इट विल बी हैविंग सिंपल लैंग्वेज, इट विल बी टेलिंग यू इन्फॉर्मेशन थ्रू स्टोरीज, एंड वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्ट्स आर ऑल्सो हिडन इन दीज स्टोरीज. ऑलराइट. Additionally, chapter-wise coverage of important topics have been assured. So once you will be referring the syllabus, अगर आप syllabus देखते हैं बच्चों, जैसे मैं अगर पॉलिटी की बात करूं, तो people don't even know what is the meaning of liberty, what is the meaning of equality, what is the meaning of fraternity. एक वर्ड्स की मीनिंग बच्चों आपको पता नहीं है, लेकिन अगर आप 11th क्लास की पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी नाम की बुक देखोगे, if you will refer the 11th class political theory book for Indian polity, you will see a single chapter being dedicated to every single word, right? And accordingly, you will realize that from class 6 to class 12, a lot points of syllabus of UPSC CSE and your state PSCs will be covered through topics. All right. So a lot of topics are covered by various chapters, and many of the times you will see the repetition, which will be progressive. All right. So guys, the curriculum is designed in such a way that 6th class student will be learning something, and he will be additionally learning at 7th. All right. It will be progressive. The more learning will be there in the 8th class, and the higher learning in 9th class. All right. So it is not a one-time dose for all of you. It will not be giving you all of a sudden all the information, but according to your pace, in order to build a great kind of pace for your preparation, it will provide you a progressive learning system, as well as it will be very easy. All right. So curriculum is designed in such a way that nothing will be seem like, oh my God, what is it? How big some topic is. You will always be having basic information about, will be reading, you will be having information about that. Good afternoon, Neha. Good afternoon, Archana. Hello to all of you. So guys, that is why NCERT should be considered a very good first step. And guys, believe me, many of the students have left the preparation just by seeing the syllabus and previous year papers. So don't go that way, right? Don't go that way. Yes, it is required to see the syllabus, but don't get annoyed because of the vastness of syllabus. But instead, you should be starting with the NCERTs. And remember that the first step is always the hardest, right? The first step is always the hardest, but once you will start reading the NCERTs, you will be feeling enlightened. You will be having a sense of knowledge achievement, and you will feel that yes, keep aside the selection and complete preparation for some time, but at least we are becoming knowledgeable. We are getting to know a lot of information which people of our age and people who are not referring to these basics books will not be having. All right. So just do the first step, and you will find that the process of UPSC preparation, the process of UPSC preparation is very good. It is very knowledgeable, and I'm sure you will be enjoying it if you are keeping a slow pace starting with the NCERTs. So consider it is a very good first step. That is why NCERTs are important. Second point I have here is eminent authors. So guys, I have not written the authors of every book here. Practically that is not possible. But let's talk for a minute about history. Let's talk for a minute about history subject. So many prominent authors like R.S. Sharma, Bipin Chandra, Arjun Dev, all of these peoples have edited and authored these NCERT books, right? What is the benefit here? What is the benefit here? Once when you are done with the NCERT, you will be referring to various standard books, right? You will be referring to various standard books also, which will be of the large size, which will be having a lot of information, and it will really be helpful for you to refer standard books in addition to notes, right? So if we directly visit to the standard books by these eminent authors, what happens usually? People just start from the first page. They just are required to read them again and again, and still they are not able to grab what is important and what is not important. All right. So it is very much required that you should be covering the NCERTs. ये बहुत जरूरी होता है कि आप NCERTs पढ़ लो. इससे क्या होगा? ये eminent authors ने जो काफी एक अच्छी रिसर्च के बाद में एक important information आपके लिए compile की होगी, इसका आपको basic know-how already हो जाता है, और जिसकी वजह से it becomes very helpful in reading standard books later on. All right. So guys, ultimately all the knowledge is there in every kind of books, but we cannot refer any book, right? Anyone can come up and he can write some standard book. It doesn't mean that you should be reading his book, right? So these NCERT books are authored by the eminent authors, very important eminent authors, and those people have written these standard books also. So it will be helpful if you will be referring the standard books later on. Also, their created material can be trusted a bit more in comparison to others. All right. In addition to authenticity of these authors, we also have this body which is named as NCERT. I hope everyone knows the full form of NCERT by now, right? Yes, Neha, we will be coming on that. Whether are you required to make notes or not? Don't worry, Neha, I will be covering that. All right. It is the one of the component of today's session. Don't worry, I will be covering that. All right. Okay. So guys, NCERT stands for National Council of Educational Research and Training. What is it? It is not something like a private body or a private school or institution. It is the autonomous organization of the Government of India. All right. It is the autonomous organization of Government of India, which was established in 1961. Since then, it has been designing the curriculum for CBSE and ICSE boards. All right. So it is the trusted body. Believe me, it is the government body. And if government body has allowed something to be included in the books, and if something is coming in the examination and you have given the answer according to this books, you have the claim that this is something which the government body has already taught us through the NCERT books. All right. So that is why, in comparison to other kind of books which you will be initially referring, you always will be having a very authentic information, right? UPSC is the examination taken by the government body, right? And accordingly, NCERT, which is also a government body, its provided material will always be given a priority if some kind of dispute is there, so you will be getting the best of authentic material also. As well as NCERT time to time keep on revising the syllabus. If you guys have already heard, the new curriculum which is prevalent started from 2006-2007, right? So thoroughly researched content is provided there. Time to time it is changed, and it is always well updated through these authors, as well as if new kind of discoveries, new kind of information is required, new kind of changes are there in the laws, that is also included in the NCERT books. All right. So that is why before trusting any other book, you can always trust the authentic information through NCERT books, which are provided by a government body. All right. You can see this logo here. This is the official logo of NCERT. After that, guys, it is very good for basic foundation. It is very good for basic foundation. Why? Because it has a very easy and generalized approach. All right. It has a very easy and generalized approach. If you will be referring a book of polity, let's take the example of polity class 6th only. So it doesn't mean that it will be talking only about polity. Maybe it will be talking a bit about geography as well. Maybe it will be talking about history as well. It will be talking about culture and society plus economy also, right? For example, talking about the class 6 book of polity, you will be seeing the geography of Kerala. You will be in the first chapter only, you will be seeing the geography of Kerala. You will be seeing the geography of Ladakh also. What kind of language, what kind of religions are there, which festivals are generally celebrated there, what is the main food component of the people there, right? Additionally, when you will be further processing with the lectures, you will find what are the rural livelihoods and urban livelihoods, which gives you a slight idea about the economy and the type of businesses which are going around us. All right. So they are very easy. Also, they have a very generalized approach. All right, guys, let me clear you one thing here. If you are preparing for UPSC, you are going to become a generalist, right? You are going to become a generalist. You are not required to become an expert, right? Expert nahi banna hai aapko. If you were becoming a doctor, or if you were becoming a scientist, then you would have the knowledge of only that field. It means that you would have been the expert of that particular field. But if you will become a DM, a district magistrate, or a collector, some poor guy from the village will be coming to you. He will be asking, sir, यहाँ पर बारिश क्यों नहीं हो रही है? इतनी गर्मी पड़ रही है, इतनी गर्मी क्यों पड़ रही है, राइट? हमारे यहाँ पर पानी क्यों नहीं है? गवर्नमेंट की कोई स्कीम हमारे यहाँ पर क्यों नहीं आई है? आप खुद हमारे लिए काम क्यों नहीं कर देते हो? सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ये क्यों कर रही है? स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ये क्यों नहीं कर रही है? So I believe normal people doesn't have that kind of curiosity, but you should be having every kind of solution. Once you become the officer, people will be coming you with the geographical problems also. They will be coming with political problems also, economical problem also, and mostly problems related to governance also, right? So that is why it is required that you should be having a knowledge of all the fields. It is very essential for UPSC also to have a generalized approach towards everything, right? So it is a very good thing that from the very beginning, from the starting of NCERT also, you will be getting a easy knowledge that will be in a generalized approach, which will be shaping a kind of mentality for all of you, so that your preparation should be integrative of all the elements which are there in the syllabus and which are essential for you to become a thinker, which should be clearing the examination, which should be or who should be writing the best of answers in the mains and other examinations. All right. Hello Khushbu, I hope you are doing fine. So this is the point, guys. Then it is very important. It is very important that it is interest building also, right? So guys, if I give you a thick book of any subject, if I give you a thick book of any subject in the beginning itself, maybe you will get bored. Maybe you will get bored. But NCERTs are very much interesting, right? If you start with the NCERTs, you will find as if the things which are being discussed are just in your surroundings, and in a very light manner, it will be very helpful for you to build a habit of reading the books, right? First of all, you will be able to develop a sitting habit also. And many of the people, once they have done the school or maybe college examinations once they have given, maybe they don't have the habit of sitting with the books also, right? So many times the problem is there that someone will be starting the preparation. If he will be referring the standard book directly, on one fine day he will be sitting for 30 minutes, then he will get bored, he will then change the book, he will be moving to some other subject, or maybe he will just move to watching YouTube videos. You should watch the YouTube videos, but that should be done providently, right? It should be done prudently, all right? So guys, it is very essential that NCERTs are very much interest building, and from the beginning itself you will develop a kind of interest. You will feel that yes, I am not just like the remaining population. It doesn't matter even today I am selected or not, but you will think that yes, I have some additional knowledge in comparison to other people. So you can pamper yourself by that knowledge, and accordingly NCERTs are very important in helping to build the interest also. Additionally, there is a brief coverage of syllabus also. I have written the brief word here, but believe me, it is brief as well as a very vast manner. You will be referring whole of the syllabus. Around 90% of the syllabus will be once covered by the NCERTs. Though there are essentials which are to be added, which are to be supplemented by NCERTs, but in order to begin with, you will be having an initial coverage of the syllabus of UPSC as well as your state PSC examinations also. Guys, if we talk about the difference between UPSC and state PSC examinations, the major difference can be of the language of that state. Additionally, the GK of that particular state. Rest of the things are mostly similar. Yes, there are differences in the pattern of examination. There are different level of hardness of the syllabus as well as question paper formulation, but that is something which is not in your control. That has to be dealt with your preparation, and that is why I also include that not only the student who are preparing for UPSC, but for state PSCs are also should be referring the NCERTs, and you should be having a very good time frame, a very good timetable in which NCERT should be referred. All right. So consider this very important. Hello, Mohammad Nazim. All right. So guys, these are a basic few points because of which NCERTs are important and you should be referring. Then many of the time what happens, guys, direct questions are there. Direct questions are also there from the NCERT books, right? So even if we talk about prelims, or even if we talk about mains, prelims or mains, whatever you consider, of course you should be having all the basics clear for your interview as well. But we are talking about the questions here. So many of the time direct questions are being asked in the prelims examinations as well as mains examinations. So in today's session, I cannot discuss all the questions, when was it asked and how many questions were asked. This will be something we will be carrying on later on. All right, guys, the NCERT course which is announced by Testbook, right? Our course which we are launching on 12th of March onwards, we will be providing you every kind of question which has been asked in the previous year papers, whether it is in prelims or it is in mains. All right. We will also ensure you to provide best of notes possible through NCERTs, and additionally you will be getting mind maps. You will also be getting mind maps in my subject, which is Indian polity. All right. So in a single page through the graphical representation, you will be knowing the whole gist of that topic. Additionally, you will be getting the advanced concepts which are not being discussed directly in the NCERT books also. So it is going to be a very beneficial course for all of you. And remember that you can use AJAYV, this coupon code, to get 20% instant discount on taking the admission. All right. So guys, you can see here it is one question for your reference. I'll be providing one or two questions here. So the question was, with reference to the economic history of medieval India, the term agar ghatta refers to, and consider this as the homework. Guys, consider this as the homework. If you know the answer already, then it is very well. If you don't know the answer, go and search this answer. In tomorrow's session. Tomorrow we will be again meeting at 2 p.m. and I will be discussing this. All right. So the options given are land grants made to the military officials, it be a bonded labor, water wheel used in irrigation of land, and wasteland converted to cultivated land. All right. So directly given in some book of NCERT in the very beginning of history only, and I will be talking about that. All right, I will be talking about that, but consider it as your homework for tomorrow. We will be meeting again tomorrow and we will be discussing this. All right. The second question is, believe me, I am not here to discuss the questions right now, but I am just showing you that many of the time direct questions can be asked. All right. Direct questions can also be asked. Second question is, consider the following statement. First is, the minimum age prescribed for any person to be a member of panchayat is 25 years. And the second statement is, a panchayat reconstituted after premature dissolution continues only for the remainder period. Which of the following statement given above is or are correct? All right. So this is the standard format. This is the standard format in which UPSC generally asks the questions. You will be having some statements and you will have to choose maybe correct or incorrect options. And here we will have the potential of eliminating the answers also. All right. So guys, many of the students believe that this format of question is tough. But guys, believe me, it is the wrong thing. This is the easy format of questions. Why? Because you can use elimination method. You can use elimination method to a great bit of extent. Additionally, if you have studied thoroughly, if you have remembered even half of the information, then also you will be able to give the answer, right? So consider this also as your homework. You can find this in the 6th class book also of polity. In the 6th class book also of polity, and the constitution, the local government will be discussed many of the times. In the class 11th also, a constitution at work chapter is there in which you will be getting the same answer, right? So it is very important that direct questions are being asked, and I know that there is the possibility is not there every year, but we should at least be prepared. We should at least be doing what is in our control, right? So that is why, very good Neha. Neha has already given the both answers, which are very right. Thank you so much, Neha. I hope people are also reading the conversations. So whoever has not given the answer, whoever doesn't knows the answer, please go and search the options. Tomorrow again we will be meeting at 2 p.m. and first of all I will be discussing both of these two questions. Then only I will be starting the session. All right. So guys, these were two examples how the direct questions are asked in the examination. All right. Now coming to a very important point. Now coming to the second section of the session for today. Right. So till now, guys, do you have any question? I am reading your comments in the chat box. Do you have any question? Neha, Archana, Khushbu, Mohammad Nazim. Do you guys have any question? Don't worry, I will be discussing how to read NCERTs as well as is it necessary to make notes. I will also be discussing some frequently asked questions. But whatever being explained till now, अभी तक जो बताया है बच्चों, अगर इससे related कोई भी question है तो आप मुझसे पूछ सकते हो. Please ask me if you have any question related to whatever I have covered till now. I will be covering a lot of your questions. I have already included those here. But if you have any question, please ask me. So Neha, that is also something we are coming on. All right, that is also something we are coming on. All right. So guys, let me complete this. I think first of all, I should be completing this. Maybe by the end of this session, you will already be having a lot of answers of your questions. And even after that, if something remains, I will be discussing that. Yeah. So coming to the second set of information, how to read NCERTs. So many of the time people will be just accumulating the books on their study table, and they will just start from anywhere. On some fine day, they will be reading some subject, or the next day they will be changing it. On some day, that guy will be referring 6th class book. Maybe after 1 or 2 hours, he will think that I should now be referring 9th book, right? So this is not something you should be doing, right? Everything requires consistency, guys. Everything requires consistency. Your preparation also requires consistency. What you read, which subject you refer also requires consistency. I am not telling you here that you should be sitting for 12 hours continuously and you should be finishing a book, but at least whatever you are doing, try to Build the concept slowly, gradually, and never giving up and never running to the new book once you have started with a chapter or with a book. All right. So the consistency should be there. All right. Remember, guys, your study table is a very important place for your preparation, and keep it clean, keep it tidy and neat. Also, have all the resources there. Be prepared whenever you go before your table. Be geared up that you will be giving a good amount of time to it and the books. All right. So let's talk about it. How to read NCERTs. So guys, it is my personal strategy. It is my personal suggestions also. So in any case, I would always recommend that you should be start reading from class 6 book of one subject of your interest. All right. Start with any subject. Start with any subject. Some people will be liking polity. Some people will be liking history. All right. Some people will be liking geography. That is all different. All of the fingers are not equal, right? So everyone has a different kind of interest. So whichever subject you are interested in, just refer to class 6th book of that subject. I know that in the economy, it starts from class 9th. In the economy, it starts from class 9th. And in the society, there are only 2 books in class 11th and 12th. But if we are talking about the other subjects, you should be starting from class 6th book gradually, slowly. All right. Guys, in the first reading itself, try to understand the concepts by reading with due focus. All right. Many of the time students just start, they just read fatafat, and they will not be understanding anything. They will not try to focus on anything. They will just think that it is some kind of time pass we are required to do. I am a bigger child. Why should I be knowing the things which are being written in the 6th class book? But it should not be done. All right. Guys, in the very first reading itself, go slowly, don't be in any kind of hurry, and try to understand the concepts which the book wants to tell you by giving the due focus to it. All right. Never be in any kind of hurry, never be hasty while reading this, and try to understand the concepts. There will be nothing which will be very tough. There will be nothing which will be very tough if you are paying attention from the beginning itself. Every concept NCERT has will be gradually developed. It is the progressive learning. That is why it is nothing which you require to search from the very beginning. But yes, things should be searched, but in the beginning itself, in the first reading itself, you should be focusing more on understanding the concepts which the book is willing to tell you. All right. Second thing, remember, please remember, it is the very important point. Remember completing the exercise in the end of chapters. After every chapter, for example, if you are a class 6 student, after completing every chapter, your teacher will be asking you some questions, right? And those questions are given already in these NCERT books. So guys, I personally suggest, what is my strategy? I personally suggest to know the questions even before starting to read. So guys, even before reading any chapter, you can go to the ending of that chapter. You can search what kind of questions are given there, so that once you will start reading the chapter, you will be well focused that what kind of answers I am going to get today and what should be my focus on. All right. So I would personally suggest you should be reading the questions before reading the chapter. And once you are done with the chapter, you should try to match these questions, so that it will also be pushing you that you have achieved something. Now you know the answers, and you will be having a curiosity to know more, right? So it will also be helping to build the interest, as well as the achievement will be there. All right. Remember that finish one class book. Finish one class book in one time. All right. Finish one class book, guys. If you are reading 6th class polity, don't directly jump to 7th class before finishing the 6th class. In any case, only 6th class book of that subject should be referred until you have not finished the 6th class book very well. All right. So please finish one class book. Accordingly, evaluate the time taken, and also frame a balanced timeline for yourself, that how much time will be dedicated to what kind of book, and accordingly you should be giving this. All right. Many of the people think that now NCERTs are very important. I will give 6 months to NCERTs, or maybe I will try to cover the NCERTs around the year. So guys, this cannot be happen. This cannot happen, right? This cannot be done also. So I would always suggest you should finish one class book, and you will come to know that how much time is it required for you to finish the books as well as in order to know the concepts. All right. In order to build the interest, only and only once you have already finished 6th class book of any single subject, after that, in order to build the interest, you can take 2 subjects also being together. All right. So for example, if you have already finished the 6th class book and now you think that I cannot read only polity, it is getting bored now. So what you can do, you can pick up the 7th class book of NCERT polity. Additionally, you can start with the 6th class book of history or geography or whatever subject you like, right? So it will be helping you in building up the interaction also. The syllabus, the kind of questions asked in the examinations are also going to be integrated, right? They will be interdisciplinary. So after completing any 6th class book of any subject, you can do that. It will be help you to not get bored, to develop the interest also. Additionally, you will be able to link the topics, how they are linked in the examinations also. All right. Once you have done with the books, and you consider that yes, some pretty threshold level of knowledge I have already got with these books, what you can do, you can simultaneously start reading or referring to standard books, and you can see that how much information is there in the NCERTs and how additional efforts you have to make through the standard books also. All right. So you know that NCERT's books are always required to be supplemented by standard books later on. But while reading NCERTs only, if you want, you can refer these books so that you will be having the idea how much helpful NCERTs are. All right. So that is how, guys, you should be reading. And in my opinion, a book, any NCERT book or any book should not be considered finished reading once before you have read it twice. All right. So at least try to read twice. Guys. Thrice can also be done, but that depends on the time you guys have available. Many of the guys will be preparing for 2021 examinations. Many will be preparing for 2022, or maybe some have more than 2 or 3 years also, right? So it literally depends on the time available. But I would always suggest that before closing or considering that you have done one NCERT book, at least twice it should be read. In the very first reading, try to understand the concept. Have the pen in your hand. In the second reading, you can highlight or you can also underline whatever facts you feel important. All right, whatever fields you find important can be highlighted, but that should be done only in the second reading. All right. So this is a bit about how to read NCERTs. Additionally, you should always be having syllabus. Of the examination in your hands, and previous year paper should always be around there, right? And once you start referring the NCERT books, you will come to know how many type of things are being asked, what is there in the syllabus, right? For example, guys, let's take the example of 6th class polity book, which is the first chapter. The first chapter will be diversity. All right. The first chapter will be talking about diversity. So if you are referring diversity, the inequality, the equality, the positives of diversity, the negatives of diversity, discrimination, right? And the provisions which have been provided by the Constitution as well as by the government against the discrimination, against the inequality, all should be coming in your mind. All right, everything should be coming in your mind. So that is how it is required. I know that for a 6th class student, it will be tough to know all of the things, but you are not the 6th class student, and you should never be hesitating in order to search the additional information also, right? So in our course, we will be linking, we will be providing everything. But if you are reading NCERTs on your own, don't hesitate to search. Don't hesitate to search the things out of syllabus. And additionally, don't hesitate to search if something from that portion will be asked or it was asked in the previous year papers also, right? So once you have this knowledge, you will be able to know how you can utilize the NCERTs in a better way for your preparation. Coming to the next thing, guys, it is very important. Many of the people will be finding very much of difficulty in making the notes out of NCERTs. All right. So when and how to make notes? When and how to make notes out of NCERT books? Neha is also asked here. whether we should be starting the notes from 6th class only, or we should be making only of the senior classes like class 11th or 12th. All right. So guys, generally it literally depends person to person what kind of notes they are making, but I am providing you a simplified approach here which has been tested, and I have discussed the same with many of my students, and they have found it very helpful. They have found it very helpful for the preparation. All right. So the first thing, the first point is please avoid noting down anything in the first reading. What people will do, they will just refer the book and they will just keep writing thing. They will just keep writing thing. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. All right. Never in the first reading try to make any kind of notes. Avoid noting down anything in the first reading. All right. So whether you are reading the class 6 book for the first time, or maybe 7th or 8th or 11th or 12th, any book, if you are reading in the first time only, try avoiding to write anything in your notebook. Yes, you can highlight, yes, you can use the pencil, but that can be done in your book also. I am talking about the notes which you will be preparing in your notebooks. All right. In the second reading, highlight or underline the important facts and concepts. All right, important facts and concepts. Now a very basic thing, and a very helpful thing also. Always use, you guys have grown up now, please use a spiral. Please use a spiral notebook. Why I am telling you this, guys? Because now the books are no more sacred for you. You will be tearing down the books. You will be shifting the notes from somewhere to somewhere. Maybe you will require to add notes also. Maybe you will be required to add current affair information also. So that is why I will always tell you to use a spiral notebook, so that it will be very helpful in updating. And later on you can also tear down the page and you can simply insert that in the standard book, or maybe you can club it with the standard book, whatever way you want to. All right. So please try to use this technique here. In the notes there should be extensive use of timelines, chronological flow, which can be horizontal or vertical, particularly talking about the history or geography. The chronological flow can be followed, right? For example, if you consider that in the modern history, after 1915, the period till 1947 was very important, right? 1915 to 1947, it was a very important period of modern history. Many type of questions are asked there, right? So what you can do, you can make a vertical timeline. In 1915, Mahatma Gandhi has came here. The second thing which is going in India is here. What is going in the world is here, right? In 1916, you will be writing about again Mahatma Gandhi and other kind of sessions of Congress also, and other things which are going around the world also, right? So you can use this vertical as well as horizontal orders also. In the horizontal flows, there will be a large timeline you can cover, but there will be less of information. All right. In the vertical flow, there is a limited timeline you will be covering, but a lot of information you will be able to cover. Always make your own charts, diagrams, and rough maps also, right? So see this. This is the India which you can make in 1 second also, right? This is the India which you can make in 1 second, right? This is the MP. This is the MP which you can make in 1 second. All right. So such kind of rough maps you should be having a very good hand on from the beginning itself, and you can use this. All right. Now coming to a very important point, guys. I am coming to a very important point now. Everything which you will be reading, in the NCERT books will be having 3 things, right? First will be the story. Some things can be stories there. All right. So our mind has a very beautiful process of learning the stories by itself. You never have to make notes of stories. So I have mentioned it, the story word in the red color. Avoid that. Never write the stories. Never write the stories. All right. Just avoid those stories. You will be simply able to learn that. Then there will be concept. If you already have understood concept very well, if you think that yes, it is inculcated, I am pretty confident that this is something which is there in my mind, then you don't have to write it. But if you feel that a concept is kind of complex, it may require attention time to time, then you can write it, right? And facts are always required to be written down in your notebook. facts are always required to be written down in your notebook. All right. Now, answer to Neha's question: should I start making the notes from 6th class? Neha and everyone, what you should do, you should be finishing all the books of one subject first. All right, you should be finishing all the books from 6th class to 12th class. Then only you should be starting making the notes. Right. For example, talking about the polity subject. If I talk about the polity subject, once you will be referring the book of class 11th, in which constitution has been discussed in a very detailed manner, you will feel that there is no requirement of making notes from such things out of class 6 and class 7th also, right? So don't start making the notes from class 6 itself. First of all, read all the books of that subject through all the classes, and once you have done that in the first reading, in the second reading alone, you should be considering, right? So that you will be having the idea. I already told you that NCERTs are progressive, right? NCERTs are progressive. In every next class, you will be finding some additional information with the comparison to the class you have just covered. So why to repeat these things? This thing should not be repeated, right? So let's try to have the idea what is there completely between the class 6 to 12th. And once you have done in the first reading, then only in the second reading, you should be opening up all the books before you. You will already be aware that what chapter has already been covered, what topic has already been covered, and then only you will be making the best kind of notes. And remember that the notes are sensible only when they are precise. All right, only when they are precise. You can use your own tactic also. You can make your own story to understand some concept also, right? But the plain story should never be included, and all the facts should always be included. This is the point you should be remembering while making the notes. All right. So don't just open the book of class 6. Don't just read first chapter and write it down in your notebook. Don't do that. Right. Start with the 6th class book, complete it, and complete all of the books 6 to 12 for that subject in the first reading, and only in the second reading try to make the notes. All right. Munesh, you will get a lot of guidance. Munesh, ये जो टेक्स्ट बुक का सेशन मैं आपसे ले रहा हूँ आज 2 बजे, ये आपका डेली रहेगा. और मुनेश, मैं डेली 2 बजे आपके लिए बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट इंफॉर्मेशन लेकर आता रहूंगा, जिसमें आपको एग्जामिनेशन का सिलेबस, उसकी स्ट्रैटेजी, पुराने साल के पेपर कैसे हैं, कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट्स को कैसे पढ़ा जाए, कौन सी बुक्स रेफर करनी चाहिए, कौन सी नहीं, कितना टाइम लगता है, ये सारी चीजें मैं आपको बता दूंगा. ठीक है. लेकिन आज के लेक्चर से शायद आप इतना समझ सकते हो. मुनेश, आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट NCERTs are important and you are also required to begin with NCERTs. All right. So guys, you all are smart children today. You are also Neo age children. You simply have the option to download the PDF, right? It is not required to search all the books. You can simply download the PDF also. And in the beginning, that is helpful. Later on, if you find it difficult to read the online sources, then you can also purchase the NCERT books. All right. So this is a bit about making notes out of NCERT books. All right. Now, answers to a few of questions. Let me give the answers to these questions. Then even after these answers, if you guys have any doubt, any question, you can ask me. All right. So many of the time I have seen my students asking me, sir, should we give 6 months to NCERTs, or should be reading NCERTs throughout the year? Sir, we have the examination only after 7 months. Should we read the NCERT books this time, or should we just start with the standard book for this attempt, and should we start the NCERTs in the next attempt, right? So many of the time, time is the most important kind of question which people have with me. They will be asking me how much time should be given, what time is right or wrong, should not be, so that you will we should not be wasting time. Also, we should not be giving the under time to preparation. All right. So guys, in my opinion, 2 or 3 months is the maximum time which should be given to the preparation of NCERT. But for example, if you have 2 to 3 years, in your examination, then you have the liberty to use and to give 5 months also, right? In that case, you have your own time limitations also. Initially, you will see that there are many books. Maybe I will not be able to cover all the books within the time span of 2 or 3 months. But believe me that once you start, once you have the habit of reading the books continuously, you will feel that many of the things are interrelated, and your preparation will always be assisted by the previous books you have referred. All right. What I mean to say here, if you have referred the class, if you have referred class 6 or 7 books, then it will be helpful in the class 10th and 11th book also, right? So your time will also be saved if you are paying attention from the beginning itself. All right. So 2 or 3 months time is maximum, which I would recommend. And I know that once you start, you will also be developing your own timeline. Once you start, you will also be in a condition to make your own budget of time which should be given to these books. All right. The second question which many people have is that, sir, in the market or on the online sources, we have the gist of NCERT books available. Why should not we directly refer the gist and avoid the NCERT books? Guys, this is also the question. So yes, and gist can be referred, but it is better to make for yourself. What will happen, guys? What will happen if you will simply refer the gist? It will give you only cut short information, which will not help you in building an interest, which will not help you in building an interdisciplinary approach also. And you will find that maybe you are reading some plain material. So I would always tell you that you should be making your own gist through mind map, through charts, through beautiful graphs, through flowcharts also, through rough maps also. And you are seriously not required to completely rely on the gist or short material which is available there. All right, guys, in our course also, the course which we are offering, the NCERT course on Testbook, in this also we will be providing you short notes. But even in that position, I will not be telling you that you should be referring only short notes and not the books. All right. So I would always recommend you should be referring the complete books first, and you should be making your own gist in your own language for your own comfort, right? Better than referring any kind of pre-made gist which is available in the market, right? What will be happening with the basic concept? What will be happening with the inculcation of idea through stories if you will be referring the gist? It will be all wasted. The beauty of NCERT is there in the whole book, not in the gist. All right. Then next question many of the people have is, sir, should we start directly from class 9th or 10th or 11th or 12th only? Why to start with 6, 7, 8? Those are basic books. I don't think that I am required. So believe me, guys, there is no harm in covering beginner classes. As I told you, you will be finding interest, you will be finding the things of your surrounding also. And I already told you that it is a progressive learning system, a progressive curriculum which is there in the NCERTs. So there is no harm in covering the beginner classes also. Also, it will not be taking a lot of your time, right? It will not be taking a lot of your time. One class book, right? One class. For example, if you talk about polity, 6, 7, 8, I don't think that you will be taking more than 2 days, to cover all the 3 books. All right. And that is not a bad investment if it comes to your beginning of the preparation, if it comes to your building interest or finding the approach of UPSC through NCERT books, right? So I will always recommend that you should be starting from the beginner classes only. Whoever has different kind of opinion, yes, you are an independent citizen, but it is my personal suggestion also. And if you have already understood the point of importance I have given to refer NCERTs, you will be having the clarity that yes, I will be starting from the beginner classes. All right. The next question which Neha has asked and many of the people asked, is it required to make the notes or should be making the notes out of NCERTs only? So guys, notes should be made. Notes should be made. Why? Because later on you will be relying only on the standard books. So once you start the journey, the first step is beautiful. I know that other steps will also be beautiful, but you will be finding a more weightage to the other steps or simply to the standard books and other notes. That is why I would always tell you, you should be making a short compilation of the notes of NCERTs, which can be referred thoroughly in just a 1 or 2 day study, right? You cannot read all the NCERTs again and again. That is why it is very much required that you should be making notes, right? And guys, believe me, if you have written down something with your own hand, with your own pen, that information is retained by your mind for a longer time. It is also the study of the NASA, particularly applied on the children of age group 6 to 14 years, right? So remember that it will be very helpful, and you should be making notes, right? You should be making notes. Always try always to make the very precise notes only. Never write the stories, never write the complete concept, especially if you have understood it well, but please try to include the facts in your notes. All right, so it should always be precise. You should be using the maps also, rough flowcharts also. In many of the chapter you will find that only a flowchart is sufficient to remind you of the everything related to that chapter, but in that case also facts should not be ignored. Facts should not be ignored. All right, so you will not be getting the time to read NCERT books. Once you start the journey, you will come to know that yes, there are various standard books. That is why it is not required to get you the bunch of NCERTs again and again. That is why please make the notes of NCERTs also. But remember, notes should be notes, not the complete book. It should be the most precise thing. All right. Then many of the time a question is there, sir, we should be referring old NCERTs or new NCERTs. So guys, believe me, that concept is applicable only in the case of history subject, right? Only in the case of history subject. And for that purpose, try referring ancient, medieval and modern of old curriculum, which was before 2006. These books should also be referred also. So the present curriculum you will be getting is 2006-7, right? The new curriculum was introduced in 2007, guys. So what you can do for history, old curriculum, class 11th and 12th, three books are there. Ancient India, medieval India, modern India. You can refer those books, but for the other subjects and other classes, all of the things remain the same. The new curriculum is always very good. You can refer that. That will be sufficient. All right. And many of the time, people will be saying, sir, from where to start? Which subject to start with? So I have already told you, it is just your interest. It is just your individual interest according to which you should be starting, right? Many questions will be there. Many complexities, difficulties will be there. But it is never bad to start. So just start and you will find, you will create your own way also, right? You will create your own way also. So guys, these were the answer to a few frequently asked questions. If you have any further doubts, further questions, please ask me. All right. So Munesh, I will very soon be coming with all that, how you should be preparing, what should be the strategy. I will be coming with those questions also. Yes, you can give the examinations if you have the distance also, then you can give the examination. All right. So guys, I think the information was helpful. I know that I have not covered everything. It is not practically possible to cover everything in a single session. But I hope all of you liked the video. I hope all of you liked the information. And it is always just a suggestion that start from some point, right? Start from the class 6 book of any subject and you will find a lot of good things there. You will start your own pace. All right. So guys, this was all for today. Remember to use AJAYV. This coupon code can be used while taking the admission or while taking the joining the course. All right, guys, in the description of this video, you will find a form. You can fill up this form and you can ask whatever queries or questions you have. All right. So NCERT live foundation batch is here. And you can join the course. You can use my coupon code also. All right. So thank you so much, guys. All the best. And remember that we will be meeting again tomorrow at 2 p.m. with a very helpful information for UPSC and state PSC preparations. Thank you so much. Have a very nice day ahead. Thanks a lot. Neha, you don't have to cover the class 11 and 12 books. They are not required to be covered. Only biology book of class 12 is required, and that too only a few chapters only, right? You will be referring the environment and disaster management from 11, 12 science books. Nothing else is required there, right? So guys, thank you so much. If you have any question, any doubt, please ask me tomorrow, and let's meet at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a nice day ahead.